Okay, so now we get to the big point. The ending that leads up to 40k. Horus
Oh, yeah.
Heresy. So Horus is the Emperor's favorite son. The Chaos Gods mess with him to make him hate his father. So he's rebelling against them. And he takes
Uh,
several of his brothers with him. I think two, three, I think at least four. I think there's four of them taken with him. So five rebellious sons, I believe, total. And
okay.
of course this kind of descend everything into anarchy. The Crusaders put on a complete hold because everyone's fighting with everyone. Everyone's trying to figure out who's a traitor, who's still on whose side. And eventually the Emperor, he attack Earth trying to get to his father. His father is outnumbered because essentially he has a good chunk of the army with him at the time. His father get him to fight him in single combat. During the fight, his father really don't want to have to kill him because he is his favorite son. But then he attacks him,
It's always
mortally wound him, and the Emperor basically not just destroy him, he completely deatomize him. Like, there is nothing left of him. There's not even a soul left of him by the time the Emperor is done, blowing him to smithereens.
nice.
The Emperor, in order to save him, they put him in the throne, which basically at that point also saves humanity, because essentially the Emperor was keeping everything stable. He was keeping the space gods from completely destroying wrecking humanity. He was also, that chair was also supposed to be the link to allow humanity to communicate, to be able to travel through the warp. So basically they hook him up to that chair, because that chair is basically both life support as well as a power amplifier. So basically, they got a undead living corpse on that chair that is using its psychic powers. So Archimage, yes, he's dead and living at the same time. His body is essentially dead, but his mind and his psyche is alive and is constantly working to keep the space gods at bay and to allow the humans to be able to travel through warp without the space gods and the warp just completely tearing up their minds. So then,
So it's kind of like with Dark Souls with who was gone or whatever, who
Gwen,
was keeping the fire at bay.
yeah, basically, but Gwen linked the fire out of choice,
Gwen, that's it.
whereas the Emperor, they did this kind of out of both necessity, and the Emperor, I've heard talk that if they had just let the Emperor die, he would have been reincarnated. But that's been secondhand knowledge, so I don't know. Take that for a grain of salt. But basically, then we get into essentially 40k, where basically humanity did all the things he told them not to do. He told them, don't make a religion around me. They made a religion around him.
I'm shocked.
And they referred to him as the living god upon his golden throne.
Yeah.
And they basically sacrifice 1,000 psychics, human psychic people, to him every day, because in order to keep that chair going, it need an energy source of psychic energy. And the only psychic energy they have in abundance is a bunch of people, trillions and trillions of humans. So they take about 1,000 humans a day and sacrifice them to keep that chair running. They also regress to an age of being huge religious zealots, They have inquisitors. If you speak against the emperor, well, that's death. If you do, it like, hey Archimage, have you prayed to our emperor today? Have you? Your silence say death to me. Hey Zed, have you heard the good word of our loving emperor? How he
Yes, I have.
Oh well, good. Have you prayed to him the routine 5 times a day?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. See,
before.
Archimage, you need to get on Zed level of prayer right there. If you can
Yeah, we
hear,
both know I'm
hear that's what they're like right now.
Yeah, I'm not even that good with my own religion.
Okay, then Archimage, don't worry. There's another. So you have several societies. You have the Space Marines, because they're all fragmented and they're separated after the whole rebellion. They're all scattered throughout space due to the whole rebellion. So you have the Space Marine faction. You have the Inquisitors and the religious faction. And then you have the mechanics. Oh, Archimage. How much do you like being an engineer and building things?
You know the answer to that.
Oh, okay. So when you build something, how much prayer do you do?
Prayer.
So you don't do a Catholic Latin chant over the item that you're trying to build to make sure it's good, to pray to the machine gods, the machine spirits that live within that machine that you're building.
Surprisingly, no.
You don't rub holy oil on it.
So again, surprisingly, no.
You don't sprinkle holy water on it.
Again, surprisingly, no.
Well, you wouldn't fit in with the engineers class of humanity, because that's what they do.
Yeah, no.
So you have 3 branches: the Space Marines, the Inquisitors, and then the mechanics. The mechanics are basically, imagine your sci-fi people who believe more in machines than humanity. So you'll see these people augment themselves with robotic parts and become more machine than man. But they're not just, you think, okay, well they focus only on science, so I can relate to them. No. They believe in the machine spirit that exists in all machines, and basically take the Catholic Church and combine it with an engineer, and you have the mechanics. So they'll go through all the process of building blueprints, making a machine, but then they have to pray to it, they have to chant to it, they have to rub holy oils on it, or burn incense around it to make it work really well. And this isn't just for this is for all machine. You have a gun, you want that gun to fire and not misfire? Hang on, let me chant on it for a couple of minutes.
Sounds fun. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what is going on with Discord, but
No,
like
you're
literally
good.
nothing else on my internet is screwing up except with Discord. Like I don't know what the hell's going on with it.
I think it's something with Discord at this point, because the same thing happened to me for my job. Because I gotta use
Weird.
Discord for my job, and I've been cutting in and out whenever I'm talking to my coworkers. So,
You have to use Discord for your job?
well, that's how we communicate.
Huh.
We do Slack, but I mean Slack, you gotta do a huddle, and when you do the huddle, you gotta invite people. Where Discord, you can all just hop in one channel and talk to each other.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it is a little bit faster.
I'm not doubting you. I'm not doubting you. I'm just surprised.
Oh yeah, no, it's a little bit easier.
Okay.
But so you have basically all of humanity. They regress. They lost. They're regressing to their most base instinct. They're all religious zealots who half the time you have people praying to the God Emperor, who is essentially a living corpse.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But what's crazy is you can't doubt their faith, because remember, I said psychic energy have value, and believing things can will it into reality because of space hell. And just like how it worked with the orcs, it also worked for humanity, but in a different way. Where orcs, they're so dumb that they believe something to be true and it become true. Humanity, you have zealots that believe in miracles, so miracles can happen. For example, you have the Battle Sisters, which is essentially a zealot group of women. Basically, I call them space nuns, because they all devote women to the Emperor.
Okay, now we're back into Dune.
Yes. And the way they work is they'll believe so hard that they're protected by the holy light of the Emperor, that after being, let's say they get shot in the heart, they'll pray for a miracle, and they'll believe that a miracle is going to happen because of their faith, that they will be healed of their injuries.
And they get healed?
Yes.
Okay, so question, why the hell do they even need space armor?
Because not everyone's faith is that strong. You have to solely believe. Like, I'm talking Joan of Arc. Believe a miracle has happened. God is talking to me right now, and he said, I got your back.
You know, I'm just picturing if there were... Because the people... A lot of terrorists have faith like that, and oy vey, can you imagine...
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. That's how freaking extremist everyone is in this universe with the religion.
Of course they are.
Everyone is literally terrorist level of extremists with their religion. And the people who believe so hard that their faith, their miracles become reality, those are the level of the zealotry of people who actually can pull this off. Not everyone can pull this off. The
Damn.
people who can pull this off, they go so far as to refer to the space nuns. Their leader was so devout and so strong in her faith, she actually became a living angel, like with wings, and would just fly across the battlefield, blessing people and banishing demons back to hell.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So that's where 40K basically ends. Humanity is still fractured. The orcs, the elves, humanity are all fighting each other for dominion. The space gods are making moves. They are possessing people. The faction that rebelled against the Emperor all got corrupted by the Chaos Space Guards, so they're all essentially are in hell. And every so often, they for everyone else, their rebellion happened 10,000 years ago. For them, in space hell, it feel like it happened just yesterday, because time have no perspective in hell. So they'll lead incursions into the universe, trying to essentially destroy humanity, because they feel like the rebellion just happened yesterday for them.
Nice.
And whenever they die, they go straight back to space hell. So they're literally stuck in an infinite loop of agony.
Like, this is a mix of so many different... Like, I'm getting so many different sci-fi and stories in here. Like, it's a huge mix.
Exactly. And I can't really tell you which one came first, because 40K been around for a while. So I wouldn't be surprised if... But the thing to know that separate 40K from the rest of the sci-fi usually have good guys and bad guys most of the time. In 40K, everyone's a bad guy. Everyone's a bad guy. There really are no good guys. There's only guys you don't hate as much as the next one. Because everyone's despicable in this universe. I mean, you have religious zealots. You have people sacrificing thousands of people every day to a corpse. You have orcs who just like to fight and kill each other. You have the dog elves who like to rape and murder everything. You have the chaos space gods who just like to cause chaos for fun. You have humanity who is basically hooking people up to robots to try to make up for the fact that they don't have AI. You have hive cities, which are just buildings on top of each other that have like rape gangs in the bottoms of it. You have literally everyone with the strategy of let's throw hundreds and hundreds of people at a problem. Eventually, after they run out of bullets, will win through sheer weight of numbers.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I'm excited to see Henry Cavill in a 40K series.
No, it sounds like it's definitely going to be interesting, if nothing else.
I mean, if they stick to it and just make it crazy, over-the-top violence. Oh, I forgot to talk about the over-the-top violence.
Oh, of course we did.
Because you would think in a sci-fi era, people would fight with space weapons, with long-range weapons more than melee weapons. No. They have to use melee weapons. And not just any type of melee weapons. They fight with blades that have chainsaws on them. So chainsaw axes, chainsaw two-handed swords, chainsaw one-handed swords.
Right.
Yep, you coming back now, Archimage?
Okay.
Oh, kind of. You're echoing. Do I still have Zed, or am I losing him as well?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, I got Zed. Okay, so it's not me. Okay.
Yeah, I think I can almost confirm it must be the internet since I'm using my phone and my phone is using, well,
its own
my
mobile.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's working just fine. So I believe I have at least confirmed that it must at least be the internet.
Who's your internet service provider, Zed? Mine's Xfinity.
So is mine.
Okay, well that explains a lot of shit.
Well, here's the thing. If Archimage's is also Xfinity, then we know what the problem is.
Hello?
Yes. Archimage, quick question. Who's your internet service provider?
Xfinity.
Oh!
Okay, we found the root of the problem.
All of our internet service provider is Xfinity.
Yeah.
That is the root of the problem.
We found the issue.
Usually they're pretty good, but I don't know why. Why is it only happening with Discord, though?
And it's
like, I'm looking at other stuff and it's working out fine.
I've had issues with a few other things today.
I've had issue with
but
Discord.
But yeah, I don't know, because it must be that. Okay, so note this up. Look for a different internet.
Oh, woohoo! They got a monopoly on things.
Kind of do.
At least in our
state. Wasn't the well? No, AT&T is also an option.
Yeah. Okay.
But AT&T sucks.
I said they're an option, not that they were a good one.
Yeah, they're not a good option. Remind me after we end this recording to tell, because I think I told you my story with AT&T and work, but I'll tell that again.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, that's fully K in a nutshell.
Damn.
It sucks. Everyone's the villain. You're probably going to die a horrible, horrible death if you live there. Oh, and all the melee weapons have chainsaws on them. Why? Because fuck you, that's why.
I mean,
No,
it
I do not have an answer of why they decided putting chainsaws on on their blades. Was a smart idea, but I love the guy who came up with it.
That was just to be brutal. That was someone going, how can we make this more awesome?
Let's put chainsaws on all the weapons.
There is no other explanation than that.
The other thing I can say is the Space Marines, their bullets are literally rocket propelled bullets.
Of course they are.
So you can imagine. Oh, and they have timers on them. So when they fire them, they are set to detonate. They're set to a delayed detonation. So they explode after impact.
So kind of, so a little bit like the what was it? The Judas
Dread.
Bullets? Dread. That's it.
Yeah.
Why did I think Judas Bullets? Yeah. Crap. What was it? Hot Shot.
Yeah. A hot shot, but basically explosive rounds.
Yes. High X. That was what the rounds I was thinking.
There
of.
you
The
go,
one that
yeah.
made his head explode.
Yep.
That'll work. I really wish they would have done a sequel to that movie.
Oh, speaking of things they're doing a sequel to, I saw a new comic book series came out on Amazon as a hardcover. I was debating getting it because they only did part 1. It's Black Sad. They did not the game, but they released a new issue of a new story called I think The Harder They Fall.
Nice.
They apparently part 1 and part 2 is out on ebooks, but they released part 1 as a physical. So I've been debating whether I should just get part 1, part 2, part 3 as they come out, or wait till they all come as hardcover. And I gotta admit, at this point, I kind of just want to buy part 1 because Black Sad is good.
It is.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that was a nice little surprise to see in Amazon.
That's cool.
Um,
No, Black Sad's a very good comic.
No, I thoroughly do enjoy Black Sad. That was a good little noir, post World War II story with with animal people
Right.
that have racism.
Yeah, and again, it is great at showcasing just how ridiculous racism is.
We spent
I mean,
so
that's not
many
like-
hours trying to understand that racism.
It still doesn't add up.
It really doesn't.
It really make no fucking sense.
Like real racism.
Exactly.
Exactly, which is probably why we didn't understand it, is because we understand that, and that already doesn't make sense.
But yeah, no, that'd definitely be a comic worth getting.
I'll probably put it in and buy it after this.
Right.
First purchase of the new year.
Yeah. Oh, we're still offline, right?
No, I can end this part now.